Welcome back to our YouTube channel, and I have a special guest with me today.
What's going on?
The husband is here.
I am here. Finally, huh?
So we decided to do a Q&A. It's pretty important because we have a show coming.
Yep.
And we think that you guys need to get to know us a little better.
Absolutely.
As a married couple, because you will see some interesting dynamics on our new show that we're excited for you guys to see. So get to know us.
Yep. Show gonna be live too, by the way.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Extremely crazy.
So I asked you guys on Instagram to shoot us some questions that you would like us to answer on this video. So we're gonna just jump right on into it.
Yep.
And y'all are nosy. But that's okay. So let's get started.
Yep. So one of the first questions was, how did you guys meet?
We have different versions of the story. But I guess I'll go with my version, and you can correct me if you think that I have any discrepancies. How about that?
Okay, we can do that.
So, spoiler alert, we are college sweethearts. Mm-hmm. We met in college, and you guys want to know exactly how we met. So, we were at a party. You agree with that?
Yep.
We were at a party, and...
Where though? Tuskegee?
Yeah, we were at a college party.
That's
so
true.
He came on over. Never met him before a day in my life. We did not know each other. And it's also a fun fact that this was our sophomore year, the fall semester of our sophomore year of college. So we never met our freshman year, happened to run into each other the first semester of sophomore year at this party. We started dancing, we locked eyes, and he ain't never left.
What?
That's my version.
We met at an event.
A party.
A party, and I seen her, of course, my eyes was glued to her for a little while, you know what I'm saying? I had to go ahead and get her number, or I had to ask a friend for her number because she had left because, she had left, I was doing my thing, she was doing her thing, and then...
We did have a mutual friend that we connected through.
Yep, so I asked him for her number, and then we exchanged numbers, and then,
The rest is history. Over 10 years later, here we are.
Yep.
And just in case it was not clear, we went to the Tuskegee University.
Yep, Mother Tuskegee.
TU.
You know.
Period.
Yep.
Question number 2 is, are we from Dallas? No, I'm sure by now you know I am from New Orleans. Don't ever get that confused.
I'm from San Diego, California.
Now, how did we end up in Dallas? That's actually a pretty interesting story, so let's just jump right on into it.
Okay.
Because life was really crazy at that time. We were graduating, and I knew I was going to law school. I knew I wanted to be an attorney my whole life. So I was applying to law school, taking the LSAT, and trying to figure that out. And then you were applying for jobs. You want to tell everyone what your major was?
Well, my major was architecture. And then I had internships, here and there in engineering. So I was trying to figure out or try to juggle what I really wanted to do after school and, what I wanted to pursue after that.
So it was kind of really, like I said, up in the air. We knew we wanted to be together. So it was kind of like, okay, if I got into law school first, he would apply for jobs wherever I was going to go to law school. If he got the job offer first, then I would apply to law schools wherever he got the job offer. Yep. So we were both kind of just applying in our respective areas and trying to figure it all out. I remember I applied to law school, Florida, Atlanta, Houston, back home in New Orleans, all over. And he was applying for jobs, leaving, going on interviews all over. Oh. And then I heard back from law school. I actually ended up attending, but I heard back from Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Texas Southern University in Houston, and they really wanted to answer quick. And you had to pay for like a seat deposit. And I was like, okay, do I just commit? Or do I hold off and wait to see all these other states that I've applied to? And the window was so short, I just took a leap of faith and paid my seat deposit, and then other acceptance letters started to roll in. But I remember Easter Sunday is when you got your job offer.
Yep.
And that was at the time his dream job. This is a job he was keeping me up about all night.
This is a job I really wanted.
I remember you got that job offer Easter weekend.
Yep.
And it was in Dallas. And I had just accepted a school in Houston. Yep. And so I was like, okay, not too bad. But then a week later, I got an acceptance offer to a school in Dallas. So I had some decisions to make. Do I forfeit? I think it was like $500 to hold my seat in Houston. Or do I just forfeit that money and then move to Dallas and be with my man? Or do I stay in Houston and he live in Dallas and we just figure out how that goes? Well, that's what we ended up doing. I guess that's what the Lord told me to do.
Yep.
So I stayed in Houston for law school, and he came to see me, if not every weekend, every other week. It was a lot. He was on the road a lot.
Yeah,
so I saw him all the
every
time.
weekend.
Saw him all the time, and that was our life. I was in law school for 3 years, and he had this dream job, which we'll get into in a second, because he called me my second year of law school and told me he was quitting his dream job.
I was out of there.
We'll get into that because y'all have some questions about our careers, but I don't want to spoil anything. And then you ended up proposing like a few weeks before my graduation, and so that is when I knew that I was going to be moving to Dallas.
Yep.
But that's also a really funny story. We should tell it.
Okay, that's fine.
So, fun fact, I knew I didn't want to live in Houston anymore, and I knew I wanted to move to Dallas after graduation. But at that time, we were girlfriend and boyfriend, and I was not going to live with him without a commitment. So, my senior year, the last semester, not senior year, 3L year, when you're in law school, it's your 1L, 2L, and 3L. So, my 3L year, my last year of law school, and it was spring break, so probably March or April, I went to Dallas to start apartment hunting because I knew I didn't want to live in Houston anymore. I wanted to be reunited, but I wasn't going to live with him. No. Right. So I came in town for spring break to go apartment shopping, but he already had the ring.
Already had plans.
He already had the plan. And he knew I didn't mind living together once we were engaged, but I didn't know nothing about an engagement. So I came in town to start looking for apartments and fell in love with one. This whole time, he's just being a good sport, knowing he's about to propose, a few weeks later?
Yep.
And so I find this apartment, and they're, you know how they are, real aggressive, offering you a deal to sign right now. First month rent-free, this, that, and the third. And I'm trying to jump at it because I'm a law student.
Yep.
Broke, okay? So they offered me all this good stuff, and I was like, I'm about to sign. This man starts a huge argument with me, telling me how impulsive I am and how I need to calm down. And I was just thinking like, what is the problem?
Yeah, I didn't want you to sign no contracts or no lease, you know what I mean? If I already had a plan in mind, I was trying to go with the flow, but
I didn't know.
Yeah, I had
so
a whole plan.
To me, I'm like, this man tripping. He like, we're in the parking lot arguing. He's basically trying to convince me not to get into this lease for obvious reasons. He knows he's about to propose, but I'm in the parking lot. And why this man hating on me in my new apartment? So needless to say, we had it out in the parking lot to the point where I was over it, did not sign. I told the lady I'll be back, and I guess that just worked right into your little plans.
yeah, my plan worked out perfectly.
Because I left Dallas without an apartment and came back a fiance.
Now, that's my plan worked.
You're right.
You know what I mean? It was a lot of pulling teeth or whatever, but I mean,
I'm a hard person to
that was the
surprise.
plan, you know, I mean, I couldn't let you, sign a whole lease. I mean, that would have been crazy.
I was going to do it because the man hadn't proposed.
Yeah, you ain't know nothing.
And I was not about to live with him.
Surprise,
And
surprise.
we have been together. Okay, so and we were 25 at this point. So grown lady, I knew he was the one. I didn't, it was no issues, but I wasn't gonna live with him. I don't care how long we had been together. So I was gonna get my apartment.
Right.
But nonetheless, he proposed. So I was like, this works
Apartment
out great.
right around the corner.
Right? It worked out great. I was studying for the bar. I didn't have to figure out how I was going to scrape money together to pay no rent. Moved right on in with my fiance.
Yep.
And focused really on becoming an attorney and achieving my dreams. So it all worked out because I was about to sign that lease.
Next question is, what do you guys do for a living?
I think I should segue into this because it's such a layered conversation. I think we should give the people a little bit of how we came to what we do today. So I kind of gave you guys a little snippet before that I was in law school. I was in my second year, and he called me up one day. Remember, don't forget, this was his dream job.
Yeah.
That he had us on our knees praying about in college.
Yep.
He had been there. I'm in law school now, and I get a phone call my second year. He was like, this ain't for me. I'm quitting.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I support you. I'm in law school. I don't know what's going on in the workforce. Never had a real job except for internships. So it was kind of like, do what you want to do. I got you. I'm with you. Whatever you want. He had actually been in the workforce. I've been in school my whole life. So he told me that was the end of that road.
Wasn't for me.
And it turned into the best decision could have ever happened because that transitioned to everything. So at that point, you embarked on your entrepreneurial journey, which led me to have the same plans and goals. So if you want to tell the people how you went back to school and got into what you do.
Well, yeah, of course. I went back to school, got my MBA, all that good stuff. And then I was a graphic designer for some time, but then I segued into becoming a full-blown digital marketer, where I pretty much design websites, do paid advertisements for e-commerce and service-based businesses. So all those ads that you see on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Google, Amazon, all those paid advertisements that you see sponsored and all that stuff, that's what I pretty much do. In Dallas, own a digital marketing firm, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much the gist of what I do.
But I mean, it was such a 360. I know that we didn't really get into a lot about what he did with this dream job.
Right.
But in short, it was...
It was great, though. I mean, the job was good. The job was good. Don't get me wrong.
It was great money, especially for 21, 22-year-olds fresh out of college.
Right.
And this was the dream job. But he worked for one of the top railroad companies as an engineer. So when the trains run off the track and all the big people got to fly in town to figure out how this happened, that's what he was doing.
But I had a bigger dream, though. So
I thought that was a dream, but
it was a dream at the time.
At the time,
I was in college and all that good stuff. But when I got there, I mean, it was good. Everything was good, but I had bigger plans. So I had to go do my own thing.
His master's, his MBA graduation was on the same day as my law school graduation. He skipped his graduation, did not go and went to mine. That's real love.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
So when he made this big jump, my 2L year, it was interesting. I mean, I had never met or had anyone around me who had aspirations of working for themselves. We were very young, young 20s. We were maybe 22, 23 at the time. I didn't personally know any entrepreneurs. So when he went and got his MBA and was telling me like his goals and plans of whatever he was learning at the time in school, drove him into wanting to be a marketer. And I was like, okay, fine, cool. I had no idea that it would turn into this. Right. So when it got to be my turn to figure out what I wanted to do, we're getting towards the end of my 2L year and going into my last year of law school. And by that time, most people already have things figured out. And I told him, I was like, when I was looking at potential jobs to apply for, nothing felt right. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he was like, if anybody could do what you could do, you one of the smartest people that I know. And watching him already do it, he had already been working for himself. Because even though he was in school with his MBA, he had already started his business. So watching him do it gave me the confidence to be like, you're right. I can do this. And literally he helped me set up everything. So the Lauren, the lawyer you know today is because of him.
I mean, but you exploded though. So
I did.
That's what I'm
but I didn't have no money. I was in law school. My man had all the money.
Oh my goodness.
So he bought my website. He was like, what do you want your firm to be? I was like, I don't know. Behind my back, he had already bought like my domain name and everything. When I told him I wanted to be Lauren the Lawyer, he already went and bought laurenTheLawyer.com. He was like, you got to brand yourself. You have to figure out like branding. What's going to be the color associated with you? And my favorite color is green. And he was like, all right, bet. He went and developed my entire website for me while I was still in law school. So I had laurenTheLawyer.com purchased. I had a website developed. I had business cards prepared. I had everything ready, waiting for me when I passed the bar.
I guess you're right.
Yes, and that's all thanks to my husband, who had already had the entrepreneurial spirit, and it just, jumped on me. And so I just had to press the button and start rolling when I got bar results. So that is how we got to here, but where I am now, I am Lauren the Lawyer. I own a law firm, a family law firm here in Dallas. I'm a trial attorney, and that all stems from the little seed that was planted back in law school when he decided to quit his job. But to jump out and just do it and employ ourselves is a crazy thing to do in your young 20s. So yep, that is how we got here today. But we also own several other businesses.
Absolutely, yep.
So our life is pretty crazy. I mostly run the day-to-day operations of our press-on nail company. So I'm running my law firm, and I'm running our press-on nail company, and you're running your marketing firm, and you want to tell them what else you're running?
Southern Fried Kings. So that's a chicken and seafood fried batter company.
Yeah, I think that answers what do we do for a living, and it's still so much more.
There's a lot
To this story, but this literally is the gist, which sounds crazy because I just feel like I laid a lot on them, but
You did.
it's a lot.
But
So let's segue a little bit from work. Enough about work. Let's get to some of the more fun questions.
what is something that you both do that annoys the other person? I can go first.
You just know what I do that annoys you?
I mean, just one thing, say for instance, we about to go watch a movie or whatever, and you like, oh yeah, babe, I'm up, I'm up. And I'll be like, oh, okay. So I take about 10 minutes, find the perfect movie, and then, 5 minutes into the movie, all I see is, after I took my hard-earned time, looking for the perfect movie, and I'll be like, oh yeah, babe, this would be a good movie. Watch the trailer. She get through the trailer, she like, oh yeah, this is a good movie. I'll be like, oh, okay, we sit down, get all comfortable, relax.
Our sofa shouldn't be so comfortable. Maybe I wouldn't be so sleepy.
5 minutes in,
we have a very comfortable sofa. I'm sorry.
And then like the pillow be angled in a position to where I can't see her eyes, but you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, babe. She'd be like, hey, babe. Like, okay, you up, 2 minutes in. The pillow gets a little bit closer to her face. And it's a wrap.
Guilty.
It's a wrap.
Guilty. Not ashamed. Okay, my turn.
Okay.
I hate the way this man drives.
Oh my God.
Y'all, he wants to drive everywhere. I always say, baby, you want me to drive? He always say no. I hate the way he drives. Two things.
Oh my goodness.
Two things that bother me the most about his driving. Number one, he drives slow.
I don't drive fast.
Paul.
I don't drive fast.
Paul. Second thing that annoys me about his driving, he always waits till the last second to realize he needs to be in the turning lane.
What?
Let me tell you, the man can have the GPS on. The man can know where he's going. He will not merge into the correct lane ahead of time. It's always.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
It's the truth. He did it this morning.
Oh my goodness.
You don't remember when you was turning down the street to come here?
Oh,
I know you saw
goodness.
that you were supposed to make a left at the light.
Nobody's in a rush. You don't want to be in a rush. You be in a rush.
I'm not saying be in a rush. I'm saying why are you acting like, why are you in the middle lane when you know in 2 feet you got a left turn to make?
I might not have known.
That's the problem. Why don't you know when the GPS is right in front of you?
Oh my goodness.
Even if we driving home, guys, he knows where his house is. He's still gonna wait till the last second to be, and then he gotta put his blinker on and wait for somebody to let him in because he wasn't even prepared.
You don't even like using the blinker.
I don't need to use the blinker because I'm where I need to be.
Oh my goodness.
He got to beg and wait, let somebody let him in because he wasn't where he was supposed to be.
Nah.
Do it look like I'm lying? Who y'all believe is a better driver?
What? All right, next question. What's our most memorable trip you guys have taken?
I already know which one I'm gonna say. You go first.
Okay. Well, I usually like just like a chill vibe. So one of my most memorable trips was Riviera Maya, Mexico.
That was a wonderful trip. That was our anniversary.
Mm-hmm. It was relaxed vibes, private, not too many people. That's what I really like. So
we don't like really big resorts. We want to kind of like get away from people when we're on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kids around, running talking about, hey, mom, dad, all that. No.
Adult only.
Yeah, adult only.
Grown folk time.
Yeah, so that was perfect.
My most memorable trip. It's a funny story. It's actually from our honeymoon.
Okay.
Fun fact, we were supposed to go to Antigua for our honeymoon, but my lovely husband, who said he knew where his passport was, I guess the passport grew legs and it ran out the door.
Oh my
because
goodness.
when it was time to go, passport nowhere to be found. So we had to, by the grace of God, had a wonderful travel agent who was able to get our money
You
back.
used to be telling on me, huh?
So we had to go somewhere domestic last minute.
That's true.
Because my husband really didn't know where his passport was. So we went to Key West. And that was a very wonderful trip. He almost killed me twice. The first time was on them jet skis.
Oh yeah, we was riding. Oh yeah.
I got him back though.
He was a little scary on that.
We was
flying
almost in the water. He did one of them turns. My elbow graced the water. All I heard was whoa, and I knew it was time for me to get up off the jet ski. I would never do a jet ski ride ever again, but that is not the best part of the story.
Oh my God.
He had me afraid for my life on that jet ski, so I paid him back. We booked an excursion. Well, I booked it behind his back for parasailing. He's not the biggest fan of heights, but when we booked it and I told him, I said, well, I'm going to get on. You just support me from the boat. Take good pictures of me. Make sure I'm cute. So we get to our excursion, and I'm thinking I'm going to be able to get on the parasailing by myself because I knew he wasn't going to get on, even though he almost killed me earlier that day. The person on the boat said that because of how the weight is, that at least two people had to be on at a time. So guess who had to come on the parasailing?
Oh my goodness, I had to get on there.
So I told you he do not like heights. So we get on. They're wheeling us back. Everything was all good, at least for me. We waving to the camera. Everything was all good.
Everything was.
We just rolling, floating in the wind. All of a sudden, I was like, the water getting real close. The water got closer and closer and closer. Then, boosh, dumped right into the ocean.
Right.
Salt water. It was in my mouth, in my eyes. It was sticky. It was, if you've ever been in salt water, it's not pleasant. So we got dunked in the water. I don't know if it was intentional or not, because no one before us had been dunked.
Yeah, I don't even, right.
And so now we're in this surprise ocean.
I didn't even want to get on there to begin with.
At all. So we're kind of like just in shock of like, what just happened? So now we're coming back out of the water, and somehow James's harness got twisted up. The man was all backwards, all witcher-watcher ways.
Yeah, you know.
It was crazy. It was horrible. He was pissed.
Right.
Pissed.
I mean, what the heck?
But they're yelling at us from the boat, smile like
This ain't happened to nobody else though.
Nobody else.
And I get on there, we get on there, and this all this want to happen all of a sudden?
It was awful. He was all roped up, tangled up. So basically, he had to enjoy the rest of the ride, all crooked, all toe up, sticky from the water, and his harness had got somehow jammed. It was horrible.
Oh my
but
goodness.
It makes for a wonderful memory. I think you almost killed me earlier. I think a little parasailing mishap is
Never
justified.
Again. Never again.
Never again for the jet skis for me.
But you at least down there, you on the water when you jet skiing. I mean, what you just gonna fall in the water versus parasailing?
I don't care.
Nah.
We can maybe both agree that no more wild water excursions.
No, I'm doing those.
So he ain't learned his lesson?
I'm doing those. All right, next question. What are you guys' favorite dishes from one another?
Good question.
I can start with that one. Okay. So,
And we both know how to cook.
yeah.
That's a very
throw that in the kitchen.
great, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Both of us, yep. So my wife's from New Orleans. So one of my favorite dishes that she cooks for me is crawfish pasta. She be throwing down on some crawfish pasta, man.
From scratch.
From scratch.
Been making it since before we got together. That's how I got him. Well, what little girl in college, making crawfish pasta from scratch in her dorm room? Me.
And I'm receiving them. So I'm just like, shoot, roommates, nah. Now you're not gonna have my stuff. Nope. So that's my favorite dish.
And I think that's everyone's. From me. I mean, I make a lot of great stuff.
You make a lot though, yeah.
I make a lot, but that pasta, award winning.
I mean, who wouldn't enjoy crawfish pasta from scratch?
It's creamy. It's cheesy. Yeah. It's very flavorful.
Yep. So that's my favorite dish.
My favorite thing that you make, my man could grill a steak.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a steak connoisseur, particularly ribeyes. And I mean, we've been to many wonderful, great steakhouses, but nothing beats your steak.
Oh yeah, I gotta throw down some steaks.
Oh yes, and he makes it just the way I like it.
Yep.
And steak me up anytime.
I got you on that. Yep.
Last question.
All right, last question. What do you guys like to do for fun? Okay.
You want me to go first or you go first? You go first.
I can go first. So, I mean, a big thing between us is we both like football.
We do.
So, we watch a lot of football, but we also like going to the games.
Tell everybody who our team is.
So, my team is the Ravens.
And of course, my team is the Saints.
That's right.
Who that?
So, we definitely like doing that. Going out, going to the games, going to concerts. That's a big thing we do.
We just went to a concert last week.
Yep.
Don Toliver.
Don Toliver. So, yeah, that's from me, like what we like to do for fun.
I enjoy how much traveling we do. We definitely try to take a lot of advantage to get out and see places we've never seen, go places we've never gone.
Yep.
And sometimes we visit some favorites. So we travel a lot. So I love all of the trips that we've gone on.
Oh, yeah,
to the best ones all the way to the not so great ones.
The crazy experience ones. All of them.
All of them.
Cool.
So traveling is my favorite thing that we do together.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching and hopefully also enjoying our Q&A. If you want a part 2, just leave your questions down below and we'll definitely recap this. But we really just wanted you guys to get to know us a little bit just before the show airs, because that's going to be very exciting. We're going to love for you guys to watch and get all the feedback from you guys so we know what you particularly might want from season 2, but we wanted you to really know us as a couple first.
Absolutely.
So I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and we'll definitely see you in the next one.
All right, now.